It is 0 hour 30 Universal Time. I'm Jim Tedder in Washington. Israel has increased its military campaign against Lebanon in an effort to release 2 soldiers kidnapped by the militant group Hezbollah on Wednesday. Lebanese officials say Israeli warplanes have struck a main road linking Beirut to the Syrian capital Damascus. Iranian President Mahmoud Ahmadinejad said an Israeli attack against Syria would be considered an attack against the whole Islamic world. Earlier, Israel attacked the international airport in Beirut a second time. Israeli troops also bombed 2 Lebanese army bases near the border with Syria. And Israel blocked sea and airways out of Lebanon. Lebanese officials say more than 50 people have been killed in the Israeli attacks. Israel says 8 of its soldiers have died. Earlier Thursday, rocket attacks in northern Israel killed 1 person and injured more than 90 others. The United States has vetoed a United Nations Security Council resolution condemning the Israeli offensive in the Gaza Strip. Council members voted 10-1 for the resolution. 4 countries chose not to vote. The United States ambassador to the UN, John Bolton, said the resolution was unbalanced and untimely. He said the resolution placed demands on one side of the Middle East conflict, but not on the other. Qatar proposed the resolution. It demanded that Israel withdraw from Gaza. The resolution also urged Palestinian militants to release a captured Israeli soldier. The United Nations Security Council plans to meet again Friday to discuss increasing violence in the Middle East. Lebanon called for an urgent meeting. UN Secretary-General Kofi Annan says he is sending 3 officials to the Middle East to study the situation. The European Union Foreign Policy Chief, Javier Solana, also says he plans to travel to the Middle East. EU officials are urging all sides in the conflict to honor international law. The Arab League has planned an emergency meeting of foreign ministers in Cairo on Saturday. The American State Department says diplomatic efforts on North Korea's nuclear program are moving from Asia to the United Nations. Spokesman Sean McCormick said, "It is good that all the nations involved can discuss a possible UN resolution on North Korea's recent missile tests." He said delegates are also discussing North Korea's refusal to end its nuclear program. South Korean officials say North Korea has rejected a request to return to 6-nation talks on its nuclear program. In reaction to this, South Korea says it will not restart food aid to North Korea. Officials from the 2 countries met earlier Thursday. 6 nations have taken the issue of the Iranian nuclear program to the United Nations Security Council. The nations gave details of an offer of aid to Iran if it stops processing the mineral uranium. The 6 nations are Britain, China, France, Germany, Russia, and the United States. The nations made the offer in early June and asked Iran to answer before the Group of Eight meeting begins this Saturday. However, Iranian officials have said they need more time because the offer is not clear. You are listening to the news in VOA Special English. President Bush has ended a short visit to Germany. He met with German Chancellor Angela Merkel in the city of Stralsund. Mr. Bush and Ms. Merkel called for a decrease in the violence in the Middle East. Mr. Bush criticized the Lebanese militant group Hezbollah for starting the latest violence. He said Israel has the right to defend itself. The American president also said it was important that democracy in Lebanon is strengthened. Mr. Bush also said he hopes the United Nations Security Council will take action after the recent North Korean missile tests. On Friday, Mr. Bush travels to St. Petersburg, Russia, for a meeting of the world's 7 leading industrial nations and Russia, known as the Group of Eight. Indian officials have named 2 men as the first suspects in the bombing of passenger trains in Bombay on Tuesday. At least 200 people were killed in the attack. 700 others were injured. Indian investigators are looking for Syed Zabuddin and Zulfikar Fayez. Both men are believed to have organized the attacks. Earlier Thursday, Indian officials said they were investigating a Kashmiri militant group in Pakistan. Police say the equipment used in the bombings is similar to devices used by the Lashkar-e-Taiba group. It has denied any involvement in the Bombay attack. A jury in New York has found a South Korean businessman guilty of acting as an unofficial agent for Iraq. Tongsung Pak was also found guilty of financial wrongdoing related to the United Nations Oil for Food program for Iraq. American government lawyers say Pak lied about his dealings with the UN Oil for Food program. Lawyers also say Pak lied about exchanging money with Iraqi American and UN officials. The court will decide his punishment in October. A former agent of the United States Central Intelligence Agency has taken legal action against several top American officials. They include Vice President Dick Cheney and former presidential advisor Karl Rove. 10 other unidentified officials are also named in the legal case. Former agent Valerie Plame is taking legal action with her husband, former United States Ambassador Joseph Wilson. They say the officials plotted to punish Mr. Wilson for criticizing the Bush administration's reasons for invading Iraq. And now, briefly, here again is the major news of the hour. Israel has increased its military campaign against Lebanon in an effort to release 2 soldiers captured by Hezbollah. The United States has vetoed a United Nations Security Council resolution condemning the Israeli offensive in the Gaza Strip. And 6 nations have taken the issue of the Iranian nuclear program to the United Nations Security Council. And that's the news in VOA Special English. From Washington, Jim Tedder reporting.